I definitely get that. I saw it. Yeah, I was fucking beat, brother. Ooh. You want to talk about exhausted? I was tired. I was falling asleep at the venue. Let me say that much. I was falling asleep at the venue during the Tekken Casuals because I spent so much energy over the weekend. But it was, damn, it was something else, honestly. So, but I'm glad other people had a good time. I actually have the footage up, as you can see right here. This is the footage that is currently up on YouTube for Guilty Gear Isekai, which is the name of the league that was the competitive season for us. So this was season 2, and this was, man, this Guilty Gear tournament was something special for sure. So I want to go ahead and talk about it so we can get right into it, because I don't want to waste too much. I don't want to say waste too much time, but I do want to get a little bit of gaming in today. But I also want to talk about something that's very important, because after this weekend, I have such a renewed vision, I should say, for like fighting games, the fighting game community, and a whole lot more. So, I just want to talk about it. Visk, welcome. Speak of one of the people that was at Isekai with me who watched me fall asleep in my chair. Visk, what's good, buddy? How are you? Glad to see you. We're just getting ready to get into it. I was going to talk about this weekend, at least from my perspective, and just have a rundown and watch these matches back a little bit. Just have something up in the background, you know. Gotta have the Subway Surfers up to keep the engagement going. That's have a night with nothing planned, bro. I tell you, I have needed time away so bad recently. But I also had to stay busy. Like, I don't know. I feel bad if I'm not busy. You know what I mean? But like, I'm definitely looking forward to like keeping it really minimalist this week. Like, I'm going to be doing as little as possible and probably going to bed very early. So, let's get into it, shall we? Let's just start with like a timeline of everything. So, and I mean, just like, I want to start from like the very beginning for me personally. So just to like give some context of like where I'm coming from, right? In this last year that I have moved to Macon, Georgia, I had made it a point that I wanted to get more closely associated with the fighting game community that was down here. I had known about them before because I had lived in a town that was nearby in the past, but then COVID happened and then I was unable to actually attend anything or meet anyone or go anywhere. But ever since I moved here back in a year ago in April or June of last year, I was like, you know what, I want to take my fighting game stuff to the next level. I want to get to know the community. I want to do stuff. I want to, you know, talk with people, meet people, and like go to events and stuff, right? So I decided to go, and I started going pretty regularly. It was a little rough at first, I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty nervous to meet new people. I was a little scared, but this was also around the time that Street Fighter 6 released, so it was probably like the perfect time, honestly, to start going and start playing, you know, New game, people are excited. Strive, what the fuck? Hello, Mundo. Welcome, welcome. Just going over the weekend, but more so than the weekend, I'm going over like just my whole experience this last year, because I've got a lot of thoughts that I wanted to get out on like a public platform kind of, and I don't want to. I feel like if I can share a little bit of what I've learned, or how I felt over this last weekend, might help some other people. Who knows? Just share perspective. But like, as I was saying, actually, here, let me do this. I want to get you guys in on this. Let me add in my chat. There we go. There we go. You guys are there now. You're up there. With wise words from Mundo, because honestly, strive, what the fuck. Anyway. Oh shit. Bring this up too. Okay. So yeah, a year ago, I said I wanted to go to locals. I'm gonna start going to locals. I started going to locals. Pretty point blank and simple, right? It was a little rough for me at first, as I was still like new, getting used to people, very shy. I know I kind of seem like a social butterfly at times, but I deep down well, not even deep down, but just kind of under the surface, I'm very nervous to meet new people and talk to people. But it was a chance that I took, and I'm glad that I took it. So, come to me, Internet Spider wanted to hear this. Okay, well, I'm glad you're here. So, over the months, I go to more and more of it. I go to more and more Thursday locals. I try to head out on the Saturday sometimes, but Saturdays usually I had things planned with other friends that were kind of getting in the way. Well, not really getting in the way, but just, at the time that I prefer to go to. And, just really kept it to Thursdays. But, I tried to stay active in the Discord or whatever. Just trying to meet people, talk to people, see, get a feel for it. Along that time, I've met some wonderful people that I've shared interests with, obviously. I've been able to play games with people like you, Mundo, and Visk. AJ, or Korean Panda, being one of the first people that I actually got to play there with as well. I still remember some of our first games when he first got down there, or at least was starting to come regularly, with Street Fighter 6. We'll never forget that one of the first words that he said to me was, we were playing a set. I was playing JP, he was playing Cammy, and we were pretty even at the time. And I said, GG's, you're a really good Cammy. And he looked over and he says, you're a JP player, but you're very nice, but I don't want to shake your hand, which I completely understood at that point. So, but it was definitely coming from a place that wasn't like actually malicious or anything. So I took it as a sign of appreciation. Definitely made me want to come back. But played that, and then I started to talk to Kirk more. Shared my interest more in like anime fighters and stuff, and he made it a point to bring his PS4. He had all sorts of anime fighters on there that I got to play with, and that I actually ended up again playing more with Korean Panda. We played Xrd, had a good time. Played some Blaze Blue, had a good time. Tried to show some other people Blaze Blue. Just really trying to get into it. And then somewhere along the line, Visk came along and started coming down the locals. And we basically immediately hit it off because Visk played, mentioned Melty Blood and some other games that I was also interested in at the time, like Type Lumina and stuff. So we played, had a great time. Honestly, kudos to you for even putting up with me. That scene, it was a fun time, but I was definitely just like trying to test to see what you knew, how much you knew, and kind of that. I kind of did some fake stuff as far as you talked me into playing Uni. That is also true. I did talk you into playing Uni, which I'm glad that you really enjoyed it. But like, I remember our Melty games being hella fun, but also me doing some very trolly content creator stuff in our matches. But you know, it is what it is. Just having a good time. And you know, just again, like at this time, I'm starting to talk and chat with people more, and just getting to know the community. Move into when Grand Blue released, you know, trying to help people get into that game. We have a lot of people who are playing it pretty regularly. And then comes where Kirk asked me to help run the online Grand Blue tournaments. Around the same time, by the way, I want to give some context to this. Somewhere in December, very early December, I lost both my car and my job at the exact same time, basically. And I remember saying it into the chat. I was like, hey guys, you know, really like hanging out with you all, but unfortunately I probably won't be able to go to, and this was actually right after Visk and I met. I was like, I won't be able to go to locals for quite some time due to extra circumstances, which me, you know, not having employment and not having you know, a way to get there. So one of the first people to reach out to me was Visk, just empathizing with my situation, calling me his Kosoge buddy, which I definitely appreciate. It warms my heart. But definitely like promising to play online and stuff later on. And I was thankful for that, because it meant that at the very least, you know, I made an impact enough to where one person would have been like, oh damn, my buddy's not here, you know, while I wasn't at the locals. The second person to hit me up privately around the same time was actually Kirk. And without prompting or anything, he was just like, hey, if you need a ride to locals, I've got you. And I was like, oh, and me personally, I'm not really one who's like super accepting of like, I don't want to say help really, but like, I don't like feeling like a burden in any sense of the word. Like, I don't feel like I'm imposing on anyone. And that definitely like kind of made me feel like I was, because like he already does so much for the community, and I could tell. But to also offer me a ride, so like him having to like either go there and then come back to get me, or like appear late there on my behalf, you know, I would feel bad about it personally, because I didn't want to hold up Kirk and I didn't want to hold up the rest of the local. But he semi-insisted, and I honestly was in kind of a low place at the moment because of how things were going, and I said sure. So I, for the next couple of weeks, you know, Kirk would come by with all of his stuff. He would pick me up from my apartment, take me to locals. I'd help him set up. I'd play all night, talk with you guys, have a good time. And then I'd help tear down the stuff, you know, for the next day. And just, you know, he would give me a ride home, never asked me for anything. And that generosity really stuck with me. And so, as you know, time has gone on, obviously I now have a job again, I'm employed again, and I have a car again. And I made it a point to really just want to, just the blessing that I was given by just having the opportunity to go to locals and not have anything asked of me other than, you know, my presence. That meant more to me than I could ever explain into words. I even told Kirk this, like, it helped me when I was in a situation that I personally didn't think that I was going to really make it through mentally okay. Locals then became like a getaway for me, where, you know, for a couple hours a night I could forget about my problems, I can mash some buttons, talk some shit, and have a good time with people, right? And then when I got all my cars and my car and everything back, you know, I was talking to Kirk, and he asked me to volunteer for Isekai. And without hesitation, I said yes, because I didn't really feel like I owed it to him, but I did want to put myself out there for the sake of the community that helped me when I was in a really bad place at the time. So I signed up, I said yes. He asked me about bringing my setup to help stream it. I was a little wary at first, I'm not gonna lie, but I ended up saying yes, and I wanted to do it. So that brings us to Isekai weekend. Okay, so we're finally here, 20 minutes into the story. Isekai, day one comes around, right? It's Saturday, and we're watching these matches as it comes along. I get everything set up. I get all of the, the files in order. I know I love y'all as a community because I let you all wake me up at 7 in the morning so that I can make sure that I left by 8:30 to make sure that I was there on time to set up at 9 in the morning on a Saturday. So don't ever say I don't appreciate y'all, because I do. I barely do that for my own parents. Y'all are lucky, okay? So Isekai comes around. I wake up early in the morning. I get all my stuff packed. I get my monitors and everything in the car. I take it there. I set up my setup. I get all of my, everything for the stream ready, and I started streaming, right? Didn't do any commentary for this day. I forget there were some long periods in between when all of this was happening. But I want to keep the gameplay footage going. Oh yeah, this was a good match. Okay, so onward to Isekai. We started the stream and everything. Everything looks good. I try to make it look as neat as possible. By the way, I just had to use fonts that I had on hand, so that's why the fonts may look a little weird, but like I think they look okay. So I get there and I'm watching all these people play, and I'm seeing people that I hadn't seen like in a minute, or that I hadn't really been able to interact with, or that I haven't really been able to talk to or play with there. And everyone there just seems to be having just a wonderful time, right? Everything just feels so casual, so natural, and it was a feeling that I hadn't felt in a while, honestly. But there was just like an overall sense of camaraderie that was very present the entire time that I was there. I say all of that to say, when we finally got to... Now, it was during Street Fighter, where we were all simultaneously watching the player Basita absolutely sweep everyone from our region. This motherfucker came in like a hurricane and destroyed every Street Fighter 6 player that we had in the LCQ. It was ridiculous, but it was also kind of like, like, who is this dude? Like, what is happening? Like, how is he beating everybody? So, that happened, and D3, being the bundle of energy that he is, bless him, he's one of my favorites to ever hear talk about anything. He's trying to pump the crowd up and everything, talk a little smack, make sure that we, stay up and energized. And I'll admit, it was a little, I don't want to say downplay, but it was a little lackluster on the energy in the room for a little bit. But, I just figured that we were just being nice, respectful, just chill, very, it's like, okay, this is just like LCQ and this guy's doing well, whatever. But no, D3 King gets everybody riled up. Everyone starts shouting, talking shit. Just good spirits all around, right? And not in like the bad or toxic way. Although it depends on, I guess, how you view it. I knew it wasn't coming from a place of any sort of malicious intent. But definitely, it made the event more fun. And then Guilty Gear rolls around. And I, notably, if you check my Twitter bio or my Discord bio, I have the term FGC lurker in there because for the longest time I never really interacted with the fighting game community really on a personal level or outside of anything. I always just kind of lurked on the outskirts and just kind of watched people, you know, from the sidelines, because like I never really had a place of my own really. So some of the people that I had seen, you know, like by going to locals or watching some of the tournaments online or, you know, stuff through Twitter, I was starting to recognize a lot of the names and stuff that were up there, and like I had an idea of basically what was going on, you know, and like, you know, people that had fought each other before, or like, you know, kind of what their scores, their ratios were, and it felt nice to be in like a familiar place with that, right? So as we're going through and I'm seeing, you know, people like Fang Demi or Chambliss, or you know, even D3 as they play their matches, I'm seeing just like the culmination of just like this last year of them competing against one another within our community, growing stronger, like things that they may not have noticed themselves, but like definitely seeing like how their conversions have gotten better, how their game plans have gotten more solidified, how they have grown as players and people in this short amount of time. And it impressed me. And then of course, it goes without saying, if you were there during the tournament, by far the biggest thing that was happening were the matches between Foam Root and D3 King. Now, in my opinion, and this probably isn't just my opinion as well, but like by and far, D3 King and Foam Root are our best players in Middle Georgia, and probably maybe all of Georgia. I'm not really sure because I haven't been checking out too much of the other scenes recently, but like as far as I am concerned, Foam Root and D3 King are the absolute best. They know the game, they play it well, they have excellent strategies, they can, you know, they have excellent game knowledge and awareness, and they both very much, as I can tell, love the game. Could I be wrong about that? Sure, I haven't really asked them that personally, but like I wouldn't think they wouldn't like the game if they, you know, played it this much and continued to grind as hard as they did. So watching their matches it had such an intensity to it because I had seen them play before, and I'm sure everyone who has seen anything with like Middle Georgia Guilty Gear has seen them play before. I think they play pretty often, all things considered, and I usually only watch them play you know, in what's the name, in Guilty Gear, but they definitely played, and they played a lot. There's obviously something very different about this match, and because like there's a lot on the line. As far as I know, D3 has gone undefeated. Well, as he said in his shows, that he's gone undefeated the entire season. He's won every tournament that he had entered in, and this was a very big goal for him. Well, just one of the biggest obstacles was and is Foam Root, who is by far the best faucet I've ever seen. Sub Apology Man, I assume. So like this was a big deal for both of them, and the passion and energy that I felt that night just watching them play, and how hard they both wanted it, was inspiring, to say the least. Like I have never seen two people go at each other like that, and in in ages, and like sure, like it happens in like pro play or whatever, and like you can kind of get an idea of it because of like how they're playing and like, or like how scrambles work out, or you know, like their rivalries that are portrayed through social media or whatever. But like, because this was something that was local, because this was something that I had seen develop in front of me, it felt incredibly different. It felt like I was involved. Like I personally had stakes in the match, even though I wasn't even playing. I was just rooting for them both, honestly, because like they're both incredibly strong, and I think that either one of them could have taken it at any point. But it was just a very different experience that I had ever come across when it comes to just like the culture around fighting games, and it was invigorating. I absolutely adored every moment of it. In the end, D3 ended up taking the tournament in a wildly skillful display of Gold Lewis mastery. He fought his ass off, bro. He did everything he possibly could. He was doing conversions that he didn't even know he had. And I asked him about it because he said that. he didn't know what the fuck he was doing, but it worked out. And just being there in that moment to see all of his work pay off the way that it did, it felt truly storybook at that point. You know, it was something that you really can only like get told by someone secondhand. Like living it is a completely different experience. And just being able to be there in the stream. Like unfortunately we didn't have the mics and everything on, which I plan to fix for next time. But if you were in the room that day during grand finals and the reset of grand finals for Guilty Gear, you know for a fact that the room was electric, to say the least. There was so much going on and so much like we're heard everyone losing it. Yeah, like it was the hypest shit I had ever had the pleasure of experiencing, you know, it basically live. Like it was crazy. But like in that moment, I understood more about like fighting games, or at least the fighting game community, I should say, than I did at any other point in time. Right there, I understood like that there's more to the fighting game community than just fighting games. And I don't know, it lit something up in me that made me, I don't know, it's given me like a new outlook on a lot of things. Basically, all of that to say, I realize now that the fighting game community is something that is so integral to what I want to have like going forward. I really love fighting games as a genre, and as a hobby. I think that they're incredibly fun. I think they're, you know, anyone can get into them, anyone can play them, and they can push you to do limits and etc. But now I also want to include the community aspect in that. Like, the community has been something that I haven't really had in the past, personally. It's mainly just been me and a few friends picking up a game and like playing it and trying to get better that way, right? Like, and which is fine. I'm not trying to say like that's a bad thing or anything, or like that's like not, or you know, like it's not what real FGC is. No, a community is only as big as you make it, right? Like for a while, yeah, my community was just me and a couple of friends that were getting together to play Blaze Blue or whatever every few nights or something like that. That's still a community. That's like close, tight-knit community that is necessary for growth. And just like overall enjoyment. But like, I realize now that FGC is just more than competing or competitors. Side-scrolling. Yes, Mundo, Blaze Blue, the side-scrolling game from Steam that I don't regretfully own. That game's actually pretty sick. It's actually pretty good, all things considered. But no, like, it's more than just being a competitor or playing fighting games. Like, it's the people who just enjoy fighting games, or the casuals of fighting games, lore heads of fighting games, you know, TOs especially, like tournament organizers, or like I said, yeah, TOs, broadcasters, commentators, you know, everyone who is brought together by, yeah, the artist, like every person who is brought together by the aspect or the draw of fighting games in some way or another is FGC. And that is something that is so wonderful to be a part of. It's so fulfilling. It brings me a ton of joy, honestly, and I want to continue to be a part of it and do as much as I can, not only for the community, but for myself, because, again, the community has just helped me envision a part of myself that I didn't think was really, you know, like, I don't want to say possible, but like, it helped me find a place where I didn't think that I would find, like somewhere that I felt like I belonged, for lack of a better word. Like, when I'm at Reboot, or when I was at Isekai, I didn't feel, it's not that I didn't feel like an individual, but I finally felt like I had found a place where I didn't have any expectations of me except to be there and to, you know, to just be there, basically. Everything else was just extra. You know, I felt at home, basically. And it was something that I don't know if I've felt before, or if I just hadn't felt in a very long time, or that I never felt and it just lacked. But I want to continue to do that. I want to continue to stream and to broadcast for our scene. I want to try and make our streams as good as possible for when we do have our, you know, our larger tournaments or even our smaller tournaments. The online scene for like Grand Blue and stuff, I still want to do my best there, and, you know, try and get better at commentating and, you know, helping people learn the games, because I think I'm a pretty good teacher, all things considered, when it comes to fighting games. You know, I want people to experience the joy and the enjoyment and the happiness that I felt going into Isekai, or coming out of Isekai this weekend. Like, I want to share, like, I don't think that anyone should be denied that feeling that I got, because it was sensational. I meant it when I said it was the most fun I'd ever had, because it is. And it was just because of being able to be a part of something that amazing. And then again, just the stories that could be told, like Pear, right? Our Street Fighter 6 player, D3's brother. Bro has been playing fighting games for a year. For just a year. As when Street Fighter 6 came out, that's the one that he started on, and that's the one he wanted to play. And he did. And he's been grinding. He's been busting his ass to play Street Fighter 6. And he plays it so well at this point. So much so that he was in the top. Like, he was one of the ones. I believed in him. I wanted him to go far. And he did so incredibly well the entire tournament. And he almost knocked out Pokeshop, which is not a small feat. Like, he did so incredibly well for only doing this for a year. And that's the kind of passion and dedication that I aspire to not only have, but like that I respect and appreciate. And that's something that you can really only find in like this kind of community. And I know that he didn't do it just like, of course it's him who has the skill, it's him who, you know, who grinds, who learns, who does everything, but like he's always had the support of not only D3 but the community behind him. I see when he asks for games, I see when he's in there playing with people. I know that they're, you know, talking amongst themselves, trying to share tech, do whatever they possibly can to ensure the, you know, the growth of this person who, let's be honest, like we probably barely even know like a service level amount of each other. But like to still have that kind of familiarity and want to succeed for one another it's heartwarming. It's something really nice that I really appreciate. And like, even going further as to, because I was thinking about this as like the conversation was happening. Oh, actually this is kind of a perfect one to talk about as well. Like, anti-air Beyblade, you still don't deserve that shit. You don't deserve that shit, Mundo. I can't, hold on, I'm going back. Look at this shit. Look at this bullshit. Fucking dash back Beyblade, and he got rewarded for that. I hate you. I'm kidding, but Jesus Christ. Anyway, as I was saying, Mundo has told me a couple of times the stories of when he, you know, he was just getting back, you know, and was like getting, you know, kind of back into fighting games. It's great. You're a fool. Like, he was just getting back and, you know, just getting into fighting games and stuff, and he liked Strive, and, you know, this is what made him. That's so fucking bad. It's so fucking busted. And it didn't work for him. That's crazy. He did the same thing and it didn't work. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, Mundo told me how, you know, he felt when he was just getting back and everything, and was getting into the scene and everything, and how they welcomed him with open arms, and how they've become like a, you know, like a second family to him, and how much they've helped him out and just finding a place, and, you know, just seeing him now as like a respected member of the community. Everyone, you know, who can go to talk to him about anything or whatever they do, and just being able to, you know, laugh and joke with him, you know, meeting up with him at Hello Boba before, you know, Thursdays, just chatting about God knows what, whether it be Final Fantasy 13, Strive, anything really. Just being able to have that kind of familiarity and you know, just enjoy time out. And then seeing him go from that to beating what is basically his bracket demon when he first started playing, Chato here, and winning convincingly, mind you. Like, Mundo's grown so much in his own right, and that's amazing. That's so, that cannot be understated on how, like, your personal growth and your personal strength has taken you this far to a game that you may have fallen out of love with, sure, but you still have your character that's here, and that still takes you as far as it does. That's still something amazing that you should be incredibly proud of, even if your tactics are a little unorthodox, we'll say. But just seeing people go through this, you know, they're starting at a certain point and then they climb the mountain to get up to where they are today, or, you know, during the tournament or whatever. It's just a feeling that I can't describe, that I love so much, that I want to continue to perpetrate. Hey Caius, welcome. We're just recapping the weekend, almost done, really. Then I'm gonna get to gaming here in a bit. But yeah, so all of that to say, Isekai has lit something in me, a passion that I haven't felt in a very long time that I want to continue to do and move forward with. I want to get better at broadcasting and streaming and commentating stuff, so I want to try and utilize this stream to emphasize that. And I still want to build my own small online community for those that are still learning fighting games or have interest in the fighting games that I know stuff about, that I'm also playing at the moment or that I enjoy. But even more than that, just fighting games that you might not know about that you may enjoy, because I feel like we kind of get a little too caught. Okay, look at this mess. Look at this mess. You, both of you, disgusting. Anyway, fucking White Wild Assault. I want to continue to uphold the positives of the fighting game community and share what I experienced over this weekend. Today's Nago's birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Nago. Nago's in Paris for his birthday. I just want to continue to perpetrate all the good stuff about the fighting game community, and I want to, you know, again, continue to build up my own small portion of the fighting game community and like help those that are trying to get into it, and, you know, introduce the joy that fighting games can bring. But also, I want to continue to do well for my scene. I want to give my very best for all of the players and all of the people in my scene that, you know, that deserve it. When, you know, again, when I was feeling at my lowest, you know, they were there. And like, sure, they may not have helped directly, but just by being there and being kind to me and being, you know, nice to me at a time that I needed it, like that kindness more than anything, it means the world to me. And I know not everyone shares that same sentiment, but like, it means a lot to me personally, and I wanna continue to uphold that. Sickening, both of you. I keep seeing the fucking White Wild Assault. You guys just want one thing that is on your Nago-sized brains, and you're just gonna go for it. I swear. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. I not only do I want to continue to get better at fighting games and like teaching people fighting games, but you know, I want to do better for my scene, and then and just, you know, give back, you know, tenfold what has been given to me, as far as the joy and the excitement and just the opportunities to grow that my scene has given me. So yeah, Isekai Weekend was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me, and I'm glad that I took it. I'm glad that I've been able to meet everyone that I have been able to meet and play with. I'm glad to be a part of this scene, and I can't wait to continue to do more for all of you. I've got some things that I'm kind of planning already, but it'll have to wait till I get a bit more settled, because I am planning on moving in the next month. But I'm going to be doing my best to stay in the area, which I will be staying in the area as far as I can help it. But when that comes, of course, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But also, as far as my streams online here go, I want to commit to getting more consistent with my streams, so that I can really practice my broadcasting, commentary, and helping people learn the games, but also working towards improvement myself in the games that I want to spend time on. And yeah, just, you know, you say it once, you said it 1,000 times. Support your locals. Go to your locals. Play fighting games with people. If I didn't mean that shit before, I mean it so much now. I close out my streams the same way every time, and I mean it. Love life, make friends, play fighting games. It is something that cannot be described. And I just hope that everyone else gets to experience that too. Thank you. But no, that means, it does mean quite a lot. I do appreciate that. I'll hold back the tears for today. And thank you guys. It was an eye-opening experience. And it's just given me a new lease on life, if you will. So, for my life for sure, yeah, the feeling's mutual, Visk. And I know we've got some plans as well that we've got to make come true, but we'll get there. And I look forward to doing it with you. It's gonna be a fun, solid time. Yeah, so all the gushy heart stuff out of the way. That was Isekai weekend for me. You can watch the rest of Isekai on our the Reboot YouTube channel, or on their Twitch. The replay is there. I also recommend checking out day 2 where we did Tekken top 8, where I was commentating that, and also Street Fighter 6 top 8 or top 16. Yeah, top 16. Sorry, because damn, good matches. And Basita, fuck, I can't get over that shit, bro. Basita came in and robbed well, not robbed. He robbed us as a community because that money's supposed to go to one of our boys. But he came in, beat everybody's ass, and took our money. It was insane. All the way from the West Coast. What you doing here from the West Coast, huh? What you do? What you bring in? What happened? Why are you here? Who brought you? Who invited you? Not to say that we're not happy to have you here, but it's suspect that you're here. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm entirely joking. But, oh my god, this is another person that did absolutely insane. Sunspark? I swore for a minute Sunspark was gonna take it. I swore for half a second Sunspark was gonna take it. Because that match versus D3, I swear it was looking a little rough for just a moment. But, you know, unfortunately D3 pulled it out, but like, ooh, this Millia was cooking, y'all. This Millia was cooking. Shout outs to Sunspark if you ever randomly see this someday. But all right, so yeah, that's about an hour's worth of me just jabbering on about nothing and everything all at once. Let's play some fighting games, shall we?